So now under E, the trend is E, the mental and physical. So under mental neutral is sort of this idea of mindfulness, this concentration and awareness. So another way sometimes that we can view, like to understand neutral, sometimes we want to understand what is not neutral. So again, similar to like the rocking exercise. We go yin, we go yang to recognize neutral. Right? When I rock to the toe, it helps to clarify the separation between the front and the back more, because it's the yin muscles that become more active in the lower body to hold the body posture up, and the yang muscles on the upper body that become more active to hold the body up, because we're moving away from neutral. So that the body becomes more yin yang, you could say, right? Or yin yang become more active in order to hold the body up, right? Because now it requires more effort. I rock to the heel, and that separates yin yang in the front and the back of the body more, because as I rock toward the heel, the yang muscles in the leg become more active. In other words, then they're more obvious. And the yin muscles in the upper body become more active, because it's the muscles of the front that are trying to pull me back toward the center, right? That's their job. They signal you, where's the center? When you're on the center, when you're on neutral, the muscles switch off because their job is done, right? So this, again, rocking forward and backward, heel and toe, we are playing with yin yang, like we're playing with going to extreme to more clearly separate yin yang. And then by more clearly separating yin yang, we can more clearly recognize the center, we can more clearly recognize neutral. Mentally, like coming back to this idea of mental neutral, that sometimes if we want to separate more clearly to recognize neutral, we can talk about what is not neutral. So then we can talk about the 5 hindrances of the mind. This is getting a little bit further, deeper into like the Zen philosophy and concepts. So we talk about the 5 hindrances of the mind. So it's first one that we can talk about is restlessness, and what everyone talks about like as the monkey mind, and that the mind can't hold on to one object for a long period of time to be able to really like observe it clearly. Like one time Grandmaster Samshin told me, he's like, no, you have to, we were talking about like switching up your training in order to keep things fresh. He was like, that's not the real training. The real training is to keep on looking at it, keep on looking at it, and keep on looking at it until the nature itself speaks. Right? Like zoom in and zoom in again, zoom in and zoom in again. But because of the restlessness of the mind, that people, they can't hold on to that object that way. Right? And from restlessness, we can talk about like anger and ill will, right? Or we can talk about Venerable Jiru of Maba. He likes to just use the word greed a lot to describe the hindrance of the mind, that sometimes you can think of it. It's just greed is the normal desire that everyone has for physical comfort, you can say, things that feel good. Right? So everything that you can think of that would fall under that category, with the desire for tasty food and to overeat would fall under that category, right? The desire for clothes on your body that feel good and comfortable, that kind of thing, right? So, and then again, sometimes we can recognize something more clearly by looking at its opposite. And so, we can talk about like in seated meditation, or even in martial arts training itself, can often be very uncomfortable, right? If we do seated meditation, tends to build up a lot of pressure points and you get uncomfortable. And then like that discomfort becomes so big in your mind that you're not able to observe your point of your object for meditation anymore, with the breathing, right? Or Even in standing meditation, we could bring it back to Yuli Chun training itself, that when we were talking about the rocking exercise, okay, that if I were to stand here for an hour and just work with rocking, I would start to become fatigued, right? As we all know that if we've been standing on our feet for a long period of time, that builds up fatigue, right? That fatigue has a certain level of discomfort associated with it. And our desire, like the mental hindrance of greed, makes us want to discontinue training or change position, even though we haven't really accomplished what we set out to accomplish with our training. And so again, a mental hindrance of greed, you can say, that interferes with our mindfulness. So we have restlessness, anger, and ill will, which are self-explanatory. Greed, and we have sleepiness, which is sort of the opposite of restlessness. That anytime that the mind just feels dull, that you're having trouble, we all know what that feels like. And then the last one is doubt. So that you doubt, am I doing this right? And is there really any value here in this training? Like that kind of doubt. Am I doing the right thing? Right, is also a hindrance of the attention. So, like I said, as mental neutral, sometimes it's more easy to recognize what is neutral by looking at the opposite of what is not neutral, like these 5 hindrances of the mind. If the mind is neutral, then there's no hindrances there. Like another way of also looking at it, this is talking, it really still is the same thing, but it's talking about the process of either like or dislike, or the process of just observing. So that generally we're always talking about anything that we experience, we're going to put it into one of those buckets. Right? This I like, I want more. That I don't like, I want to either run away from it or discard it. Right? So especially like when it comes to training, some people are better strikers, some people are better grapplers. Right? So it's like people that are grapplers, they would rather spend more time on grappling. They want to ignore their striking. Some people are better strikers. They want to just focus on training striking. They don't want to train on the grappling and the wrestling. But that's why the curriculum is structured in such a way so that like you go from student level 0 to student level 1, 2, 3, and then on up until the student level 11, that like every step along the way in the curriculum, there's something there for you to train and a skill in order to have like the complete package. So that you need to look into it whether you like it or not. Otherwise, like people, when they'll play rather than training, right? So like the training should be the process of looking into your weakness. It's not the quality of looking into your strength.